I'm just gonna be honest, this movie was not very good because I just watched Mortal Kombat 2, so here are my full spoiler-free thoughts on the best and worst parts of the movie. Let me start off by saying I do think this is a slight improvement on the first film we got in 2021. Again, still do not love this thing, but I feel like you could tell they put some more effort into this one. There's a lot of better action sequences, and I'll get into some more specifics of what I liked about it in a second. I do also want to highlight that I am not a Mortal Kombat fan. I've never played the video games. I'm familiar with them and some of the characters and fatalities and stuff, but I'm not really a fighting game guy. Never played them, got into the lore or anything like that. So if you're a fan of this franchise, you're obviously going to like this film a lot more. But the best way I can describe my experience watching both of these films, but particularly this one, is how non-Marvel people probably feel if you just threw them into like Avengers Infinity War as their first watch. Because really anytime a new character or realm or anything shows up in this movie, they don't really have that much to do in the film itself. It really is just like, oh, hey, look, here's something from the video games. And I'm not even saying this as a negative thing. Obviously, if you're a fan of this franchise, you're going to be like, oh my God, cool. This is this person I love. And I do want to say, I actually did really like Johnny Cage's character. Obviously, I've known of this character before. I think Carl Urban was fun. Maybe not like the greatest performance of all time, obviously, but I think it was a fun enough character. He has some really cool fighting scenes. And that is obviously the highlight of this film, which is obviously what 90% of people are going to see it for. It is really great that they're not holding back in the fight scenes anymore. Like every single fight in this movie is way bigger, more brutal and epic than in the first film. There's actually some really cool and just gross sequences in this film, which is really, again, what most people are coming to see here for. And I was entertained during the fight scenes. However, I'm still going to talk about the story of this movie because, yes, it is still a film. You can critique the story even if it's based on a video game. I do think this should have focused more on Katana as like the main character and focus. I feel like she simply had the more interesting story to be told here, more interesting dynamics with different characters in this world than Johnny Cage. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with the Johnny Cage character. He has some really cool scenes. Carl Urban's having an absolute blast, but I just don't feel like there was that much of a movie to lay most of this on his shoulders on. I just simply think it would have been more interesting. Like I understand Johnny Cage and Carl Urban are the bigger draws for the box office and marketing and all that stuff. And like I said, he can still use him in the movie as a pretty big character. I just don't think the storyline of him being like, oh, this washed up star pulled in and now he's fighting in Mortal Kombat is the most interesting thing to watch. Now, oddly enough, I do actually think this movie looks really solid visually. Like it's not some stunning masterpiece or anything, but a lot of the practical effects look really cool. Again, the fight scenes are shot in a way that you can clearly tell everything that's going on, getting right into the action, everything. There's some really cool just environments and different lighting going on that makes the scenes again more exciting because really everything that we care about in this movie revolves around the fight scenes and them just looking as cool as possible. And like I said, they do a good job at that. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 because it's really just a franchise that's not for me. I was moderately entertained by the fight scenes and just disinterested in pretty much everything else in this film. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're a fan of the video games or not. I want to see how different that makes your opinions on the film. Now, if you want to see all my other movie reviews on the channel for the newest releases like the Sheep Detectives, the Michael Jackson movie, and every other big 2026 release, click the playlist above my head right now to check all of those out. And thank you so much for watching.